How's it going, guys? So today we're going to try to finish this 135 up. We're going to try to finally get the last coolant leak fixed on it, and we can slide the fan back in and hopefully take it back. So that's right on this thing. Now, yesterday I didn't work on this car. Yesterday it rained the whole entire day. It didn't stop till after dark. So you can see the video I just uploaded. This will be probably the next day. So yesterday's video or earlier today, depends on how things work out. The R56 Mini Cooper, I did that last night after dark. I got to Kevin's probably about 10 o'clock at night. I worked on it till about 3:30 in the morning. So it's now currently noon the next day. I just got all the videos put up, the MRE video, the Mini Cooper video. We're gonna get this thing completed. I want to show you what I did night before last. So night before last, we got, it was after dark. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I just went and jumped back on this X5. It was pretty warm outside, and put my headlight on. We just went ahead and redid it all, and we redid the timing on everything, retorqued everything. You can see these camshafts are flash rusting. I sprayed some PP blaster on all of those. And one thing to remember on these E53s, they have the holes in the hood, so you have to put a piece of cardboard over all of this. If you don't, you have the valve covers off, you're going to get water down your engine, or at the very least down in your spark plug tunnels. And this one has a very tiny bit in the very last one. We'll probably go and pull the plugs out, clean them up really good, do all that. But this thing's ready to put the covers all back on. Unfortunately, today we're not going to have time to do that. We need to get this E88 done and get it taken back to the owner. And then we have the Silverado. I don't know what the chassis code is on it. 2008 Silverado. The neighbor's bringing over probably tomorrow. I was supposed to go look at a Mercedes yesterday to possibly buy, but it was raining, and today we're covered up. We can't go get it today. I need to call the guy and tell him we're just going to have to wait another day on that and try to get that caught up. We still haven't put the valve cover gasket on the other E53 on the 6-cylinder that my mom has. We got to do that. She's bitching about it. Smells oily, and it's starting to drip a little bit. Hopefully the valve cover itself is not cracked. That being said, we're going to close this thing back up, put our cardboard back on. This is going to have to sit for one more day, and hopefully we can put the covers back on this thing and get this all back together, because this thing's been terrible. It's had all kinds of issues, and we still never have driven this thing. We still don't know if the transmission is good, so that might be a whole nother situation. If the transmission is bad, we got to roll the whole carrier all back out of this with the wheels and everything on it, just like we did taking the engine out. That's easier than getting to the bolts. Let's freaking hope we do not have to do that. I don't want to do that. And this thing also needs tires bad, probably before we could even test drive it. Alright, I'm going to try to show you where this leak's at, mainly so you guys can see it and the owner can see it. There's a hose that is up. Pretty hard shot to get. The camera would focus, that'd be awesome. Come on, camera, what's your problem? Maybe turn the light off, huh? Oh, okay. I see how it is. Try to turn this little one on. Alright, so you can see up here, maybe, right here is the hard pipe that goes, where does that go? Over to the turbo. Alright, so right here is a, if I could even get the thing on it, is a permanent clamp. Let me try to get the mirror in it. And yeah, you can see right here is a permanent clamp, and it's just permanently crimped on there. If you look up in here a little bit further, if you can see in the mirror, come on, you can see it's leaking up from around the clamp. It's all wet around there. You might be able to see it. but that's what's spraying over on the turbo we saw the other night. And then if you go look on this hose, if you can see or not, right there you can see a little bitty cut right in the middle of the hose, right above the clamp. So this hose is only 3 inches long. So I guess I'm going to try to pry that clamp off. It's the same size as the radiator hose. You can see if I have a pre-made elbow here, put 2 standard clamps back on it, and hopefully that fixes our coolant leak. And just so you didn't understand, or if you didn't understand that, that hose goes on the pump right here on the top. And it goes over to the aluminum hard pipe. So let me go and get it pulled out and I'll show you a better picture of it. All right, so what we're doing right now, we've been doing for about the last 40 minutes, is trying to saw that clamp off. The clamp that's on that hose looks like this, but it doesn't have the ears to squeeze with a pair of pliers. It's just a spring-loaded band around it. We tried prying it off with a pry bar. It's too tight. So what we're doing right now, we're taking the Sawzall, because nothing else I have will fit in that tight of spot, and we're trying to cut through the band. It'll focus. We're trying to cut through the band enough where I can stick a screwdriver under it and snap it off and pull the hose off. So I don't know who okayed that. There's several of them on this car. I see them up here in the front on the small hoses too, that run across in the bottom. Whoever okayed that at BMW needs to be fired. I'm sorry, but I've seen some pretty dirty stuff in my day. But what are you going to save by not putting a regular hose clamp on it? 2 cents? You know, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but this car isn't that hard to work on, and it's going to be a lot easier to work on once we get all this garbage off and put just regular clamps on it. You know, I'm thinking it's the same problem with the Mini Cooper had last night. They put the car together in such a way that they hope you never got to take it apart, or just don't care if you got to take it apart. Just the tiniest bit of changes could have made this car so easy to work on. But you know, it's overbuilt. If the engine's out of the car, all this is pretty easy to deal with. But the engine never is out of the car, so it's not easy to deal with. You know, the Mini Cooper, we saw the same thing. A lot of the plugs were clipped on upside down where you couldn't get to the latch. They didn't have squeeze latches on them. You had to take a little screwdriver and pop the latch up and pull them out. Yeah, that's something you expect from a Chevy or a Ford or a Dodge, but not from BMW and Mini. You know, I don't know what the deal is here. They cheaped out a little bit. And same way with the transmission. BMW's been claiming the lifetime transmission fluid for years, and it's not. You need to change it every 40-50,000 miles. And just a lot of stuff, I'm not really sure what the motive behind that is. I can't really see that saving money. I don't really understand. Maybe some of you guys elaborate and probably get a bunch of hate comments for hating on BMW. I'm not hating on it. It's just, man, why would you do that? I don't understand any of that. Okay, so this is where we're at. We've taken the Dremel. Grab it here. I just broke my last cut off. And we've actually cut that permanent clamp in half, but it still won't come off. So what we have here, let's do a little research on this. This is pretty funny. We have aluminum pipe that goes from the back of the engine that runs down right over the turbos, runs to the front, and has the 3-inch rubber piece I showed you earlier. You can see the pipe right there. Has the 3-inch rubber piece I showed you earlier that has a permanent clamp on it that is not replaceable. They don't want you to replace the little rubber pieces that long that's leaking and has a hole in it. They want you to replace the whole pipe with a pre-made rubber piece that goes back to the very back of the engine. What the hell is the neighbor's dog doing up there barking like a fool? Anyway, so to do that, it looks like you have to take the exhaust totally off, maybe take the cross member out. Even I don't know about that. I didn't look that far into it. Anyway, the hell with that. We're not going to do that. I cut the clamp in half, and that was all one little wheel in the Dremel could do. So now the problem is, of course, I don't have any more. I swear, I'm about to go to the neighbor's house. Anyway, I don't have, trying to work around the noise here. Sorry about that, guys. It's $100 for the pipe. the $100 isn't even the problem. The problem is replacing it. It's a massive job, and it has a flange where it bolts on the block back here that has the O-ring. It's not leaking there. We don't see any drips there or nothing. So we're going to try to replace this. I have so much OEM hose and stuff here. We should be able to find a pre-made elbow. We should be able to hack it off and use that. We'll probably go ahead and double clamp that when we put it back on. So now we're on the search to find some more Dremel cutoffs wheels before it gets dark. And we're in a small town. I don't think that the gas station, or not the gas station, the hardware store down here is going to have that. They just have a very small amount of stuff. So this might go into one more day. I think I get up around and cut at the clamp again and then pull it off. Once we could do that, we could take a piece of sandpaper, clean up the end of it, and redo it, and that should be it. But here's the trick. When you look up in there, you can see the bolts that bolt the manifolds on. Somebody's been up in there and you can see where they slipped off, like they weren't using the right socket. Somebody's been there trying to do that, but it's only on the lower pieces that your average person would think you would have to take off to get that pipe out. So I think what's happened here is this thing has been dripping for a while. Somebody's went in there, tried to take the pipe out, figured out they can't do that because there was scratches all over that clamp, like somebody had been trying to cut it with something. They couldn't get it to stop. They dumped stop leak in the overflow tank. That's where all our little stop leak flakes come from, and probably put it up for sale right away. That's what I think was going on. Now here's the catch of it. It's not leaking until I hit the gas or it runs for a while, because that that coolant pipe is on the back side of the thermostat. So until the thermostat opens up, that doesn't have any coolant in it. So when the thermostat opens up, it has coolant in it. That's what our whole problem is. That's what this car's whole problem is. That's probably what's wrong with a lot of these N54s that have that same kind of setup. So we're off to the hardware store before it gets dark, try to move that clamp, and hopefully get it off tonight and show you. Okay, so this is where we're going to end it for tonight. I went around everywhere around here. Nobody has Dremel stuff. We have to go to the closest Walmart, which is 30 miles away. So I guess we're going to get all the tools put up, and somewhere in this video I'll put a picture of the hose I'm talking about, the whole assembly. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I guess stay tuned for tomorrow, and hopefully get it figured out tomorrow and get it worked out, because anybody that has a 335i, a 135i, a 535i with the twin turbo N54, sooner or later is going to have to deal with this problem. But that's it. Thanks for watching.